This is Smiles TV. Welcome to Smiles Television Talk Show. I'm your host, Stephanie Anthony Miles, and thank you for tuning in. We have a dynamic broadcast for you today. We are doing a series on mental health matters, and if you recall, we initially started off with dealing with unresolved childhood trauma in the schools. Then we went on to talk about friendships among women and some of the hang-ups that we have and problems and stresses that go into that. In that second half, we discussed homelessness and how mental health issues make and contribute to the homeless society. We're delighted to have with us two gentlemen who are dealing with prison re-entry. You don't want to miss this broadcast.
Hi, I'm Edie Anderson for Smiles TV. Is there hope after prison? Can we truly prepare incarcerated individuals with tools needed to successfully re-enter society? This seasoned professional, James T. Ingram, says not only is it possible, it's happening now. James Ingram is the director of the Prison Reentry Program for the Community Agency Action of St. Louis County. He is also a columnist for the award-winning St. Louis American newspaper. James has a degree from Boston University in mechanical engineering, a professional certificate in change leadership from Harvard Graduate School of Education, and degrees in education administration and communications management from Richardson University.
Welcome back to Smiles Television Talk Show. I'm sitting here with James T. Ingram, a longtime friend. We go way back. I tease people and I tell them I'm the one who trained him how to be the press secretary for Mayor Carl Officer. He came in under my direction. Isn't that right, James?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but James Ingram is a columnist for the St. Louis American newspaper and the director of the Prison Reentry Program for Community Action Agency, St. Louis County. Thank you, James.
Thank you for having me, Stephanie.
It is so good to see you again. And it's a big joke because, you came in ready. You already knew what to do. There were just some technical things that I might have had to kind of teach you along the way. Okay, James, thank you again. So tell us a little bit, first of all, give us a little bit about your background prior to becoming the director of CASEL.
Well, working at Castle, I came to Castle in 2009, and I came there under some Obama funding. The ARPA funding at that particular time, and with the whole premise of going into the Justice Center in Clayton and instructing justice-involved individuals. So I taught a curriculum which is a best practice called Making It Work for almost a decade, teaching men and women. And ultimately, fast forward, we received some additional funding from the United Way and some other entities, and I became the director of the reentry program for Castle.
Okay, excellent. And what is your mission?
Okay, the mission is to stabilize and to enrich vulnerable families. That's our mission at Castle. However, you should know the backstory. Community Action, as an umbrella agency, started under the War on Poverty, under the Lyndon Johnson administration, and there are 1,000 community actions across the country. There are 19 in Missouri alone. And we're one of the few, you can count on one hand of the 1,000, that has a prisoner reentry program.
Wow,
So I got a lot of phone calls from around the country for those who have discovered that prisoner reentry is something that is needed and want to start their own program.
I understand. One thing that intrigues me is how you might be able to choose those who are ready for reentry. What's that process look like?
Well, I don't know if we choose them as much as they choose us. I think an individual that's justice involved, they have to be sick and tired of being sick and tired, and determine that they want to do something different with their life. Whether they became justice involved because of drug addiction, or lack of opportunity, or just because of peer pressure, they have to determine that they want a different way of life and reach out, and we're there to assist them.
What are some of the things that you do to keep people from circling and cycling around back and forth through the system and then back out in the community?
Well, there's an expression. Frederick Douglass said that it's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. And that is pretty much what we do. It's easier to get to an individual and provide them with opportunities, which is one of the number one reasons individuals become justice involved, in terms of lack of employment, lack of opportunities, lack of access, some of the stigma that are associated with, say, black and brown people in the society, and justice involved people in general. And this is where the recidivism rate comes from. So the more wraparound services that you can provide for justice involved individuals, it's going to mitigate the instances in which they recidivate. As an example, our program is based on wraparound services.
Okay.
So we have anger management classes for people who have an issue with dealing with their emotions. We have a substance use class that we offer on a regular basis if they are drug or substance addicted. We have employment readiness, so we can help them to find jobs, particularly jobs that are felon friendly if they happen to fall under that category. We have a skill up program, which helps to pay for career-oriented training so that they can get gainful employment. And we have mental health counseling, because that's always a concern. You're not going to be incarcerated and not have anger and mental health issues. It's literally impossible. So we have all of those services under the reentry umbrella, and it prevents that recidivism merry-go-round that we see.
That's excellent. And you actually answered a question for me, because part of my thinking was that, is this just a program just for the sake of having a program, which I understand that it's not, but there's so many programs that seem to just pacify people and not really help them to move forward. So you just indicated some of the processes and things that you guys have in place. The loss of dignity and must be a big part of what people feel coming out and trying to enter back into the world. Is there anything that you guys do to help encourage them in that vein?
I'm going to piggyback off of what you just said, and then I'll answer that question. So you're correct. There are a lot of programs that proclaim to help justice involved individuals. I would take it a step further, and I'm not talking about anybody. I'm just talking about what I'm talking about. There are a lot of hooks and sloganeering and things out here, and they sound good, but if you are pressed to ask them, what is your recidivism rate? That's the metric that's going to determine whether that program is successful. How many people go back into the system?
Right.
We have a 4.3% recidivism rate, which is 10 times lower, 20 times lower than the state average, and far lower than the national average, which is 80% recidivate. So we have an excellent track record, and this isn't self-reporting. We go to case.net, look there and see if they've been back in the system. So when you got a 4.3% recidivism rate, that is the case. So that question, the other question was about
helping people maintain their dignity.
That is incumbent in privacy, not sharing their information, and not judging. The team, my team, I have excellent team of concerned caseworkers, employment specialists, and others who don't judge. We know their origins. We know where they come from. And the last thing they need, and something that's very off-putting, is judgment, sharing their personal information, and just casting blame. They need help, they need encouragement, they need support, and that's what we're there for.
Is there anything that we have not discussed that you want to make sure that our audience gets a chance to hear from you?
And I'd like to say that as an extension of what we do with Castle, I'm proud of the reentry program. I'm biased. I think it's the best program that we have to offer, but we have people who come to the agency under other circumstances. They may have food insecurities. We have a food pantry. They may need their homes weatherized. We do that as well. They may need utility assistance. We do that as well. And we have, I would say, one of the biggest assets we have is our CEO, Linda Huntsman. If we had to talk about servant leadership, she epitomizes that. Very wonderful, warm and engaging person. She has embraced the reentry effort wholeheartedly, and no one is a stranger to her when they come through those doors. So I have to say that about her. You can't say that in a lot of agencies. We have some people that when they are CEOs or they get to a certain level, they distance themselves from the people that they serve. That's not the case at Castle.
And in our second half, we're honored to have Reggie Smith, who's actually a board member of your organization, and he has a great story to tell, and we're looking forward to talking with him.
And I'm looking forward to listening to it. He's a great gentleman. We're honored to have him on the board, and I think he's going to be a tremendous asset. So I'd also like to add that that we can also service individuals in Illinois. We do have United Way funding, which enables us to do it. I'd also like to reach out to parole officers, to judges, to individuals within the justice system who are looking for diversion opportunities. You can't prosecute your way and incarcerate your way out of this justice a situation that we find ourselves in. I know that is coming from the White House right now. That is a sentiment there, but here on the ground, we would like to say, hey, to that judge who's compassionate, give them to us. If they just have anger management issues that need to be resolved, substance use issues that need to be resolved, to that PO, hey, send them to us instead of maybe a couple of those meetings that they have to attend, and allow us to work with them to get them employed and get them the services that they need, and so we can kind of get them off of your caseload. That's what I would offer, that not only is this for justice-involved individuals, but this is for people who are justice-involved advocates, and by extension can make the referrals to us.
Excellent. If people want to make contact with you through the organization, how can they do that?
They can look at the information on the screen, but the best way to reach me is by my direct line, which is 314-446-4431. I think my email is also there. It's jingram@caastlc.org. Get to me, and I'll be more than happy to assist you in any way that I can.
Thank you, James. Thank you again for taking time to come to Smile Television Talk Show. And good seeing you. And you keep writing. And I guess one day, I'll teach you a little bit more on that press.
Well, I can't wait. I'm a remedial student, so you have to.
This guy's something else. Like I told you, he's a columnist for the St. Louis American newspaper, excellent writer, and he does a lot of things in our community and throughout the world, actually. Don't go away. Stay tuned for more Smile Television Talk Show, and we'll be talking with Mr. Reginald Smith, who is the CEO of Pure Living. We'll tell you a little bit more about that when we come back. Do you have a Christian ministry, an inspiring story, an innovative idea, or an upcoming event? Are you an artist, an educator, healthcare provider, author, or musician? Since 2013, Smiles TV has shined a spotlight on the good happening around the world. Contact Stephanie Anthony Miles at 618-741-3770 or send an email to smilestv777@gmail.com. Let Smiles TV tell your story. You look better with smiles.
Meet Reggie D. Smith, affectionately called the Sauce Boss. Reggie tells his story of how he has transformed his life from incarceration to entrepreneurship. By the age of 24, Reggie had a criminal record including convictions of homicide and drug trafficking. Today, Reggie sits on the board of CAASTLC, an organization dedicated to helping people improve their lives. He is the creator and owner of Pure Living Center, a recovery and rehabilitation center in East St. Louis, and transitional houses in Cahokia Heights, Illinois, and North St. Louis County. Reggie also created Pure Heat Sauces, now sold in 500 grocery stores nationwide.
Welcome back to Smiles Television Talk Show. I'm just so grateful to sit here with another gentleman from the Community Action Agency of St. Louis County Reentry Program, Mr. Reginald Smith. Thank you, Reggie.
You're welcome.
Welcome to Smiles Television Talk Show. And you know what? You have such a dynamic story, and
Thank
we're
you.
going to try to get as much out as we can in this short 15-minute space here.
Okay.
So prior to coming on, we just had James Ingram, who's the director of your organization, and I understand you're a new board member.
I am, yes.
Okay, so what do you plan to bring to that board?
The basic things from a foundation level. You know, not the person that your suit and tie. You know, the person that can relate, the person
Okay.
that boots on the ground, the person that's going to get out there in the community and actually do the work.
Okay.
The relatable work where people can actually look at me and say, hey, he's one of us. He can be trusted.
Very good, very good. So tell us a little bit about your story. I know you're from East St. Louis, Illinois, and you ended up getting into some trouble along the way, and go from there.
Selling drugs, experimenting with drugs, playing with guns. Shot somebody when I was 19. Did time in prison. Tried to straighten up. Got in more drugs, more drug use. It was a cycle.
So more drug use while you were in the system.
Yeah.
Wow, and you know that's interesting to know, to understand
Yes.
that does occur
Oh, of course,
like that.
of
And
course.
so since then, you have come out and have done some dynamic things. Let's talk about your Pure Living facility, and it's a rehabilitation center, right?
Yes.
So how did that idea come to be?
Well, after I decided I didn't want to be a part of the lifestyle anymore or in the street life, now I'm on the outside looking in. And I'm coming back to my neighborhood of East St. Louis, and I'm seeing a lot of people looking bad, homeless, asking for money all the time. Every time they saw me, they were just done. So I said, hey, you got to help these people. You know, the help wasn't afforded to a lot of people that I know. I come from a middle class family. Parents were engineers for General Motors.
Okay.
I'm an only child. So when I needed treatment, I was able to get it, no problem.
Right.
While I'm getting treatment and in those type of facilities, rehabilitation facilities, I saw people asking for help. And the first question was, who's your insurance carrier? You know, these people didn't have the correct coverage or coverage at all. They were being turned away. And those same people were either overdosing or dying. Or going to prison for serious cases instead of being allotted the treatment that they deserved.
So you actually took some of your own money to start this facility.
A lot of my own money.
A lot. You said not just some. A lot.
A lot of my own money. When I noticed a lot of people needing treatment, I say, hey, I'm going to open up a drug and alcohol facility. I didn't know it's going to be as hard as it is dealing with, human health, a healthcare agency. Basically, it's almost like opening a hospital. I didn't realize it was that hard, but now I'm like 90% of the way into it. But I said, I'm going to open up a drug and alcohol rehab center. Coming out of prison, I started driving 18-wheelers. I got my CDL, started driving trucks. Over the course of a year or two, I purchased about 3 trucks. When I found the building that I wanted, God blessed me with this building, I sold my trucks to fund this center.
Okay.
The building needed a lot of work. And I put the resources, I had the resources, I put the money into it.
So that facility is actually on State Street
Yes,
in
it
East
is.
St. Louis,
Yeah,
Illinois.
Yeah. It's a 50-bed, 90-day inpatient, 25 men, 25 women, drug and alcohol
Very
rehab center.
good.
Yeah. It's called a 3.5 to 3.7 level. Actually, a medical facility where we can do detox and counseling.
Okay, let's go back to something else. When I was talking to James, we were talking about individuals coming out of the system and then finding themselves going back in again. Was that your story?
No.
Okay.
Another blessing. I didn't stop doing illegal things. I
Just weren't caught.
Yeah, right. Just a smarter way of doing them and going around the system. The first time I went to prison, it was for murder and drugs. got smarter, got a little older, and I started opening businesses. I was away from that type of lifestyle, but I still wasn't all the way on the up and up. So then the second time, the feds got me for tax evasion, for not paying taxes.
Okay.
So it was a different, two totally different ends of the spectrum. And what really helped me was I have a pastor that I can be friends with, as well as my minister, my pastor.
Okay.
You can relate to him.
Where's your church?
Yeah, it's called Assembly Bible Church in St. Louis.
Okay. And something else that we haven't talked about is pure heat. You guys, this guy has some barbecue sauce. I should have had him bring it to us, but I didn't. So tell us about your sauces that are in the stores.
Well, Pure Heat I created when I had a nightclub. My nightclub was called Pure Ultra Lounge. I used to work in the kitchen in my own club.
Okay.
I was an employee. Being in the kitchen, I created a sweet and spicy sauce. During COVID, the club closed down. People kept asking for the chicken wings. It wasn't the wings. Anybody could make chicken wings. It was the sauce that was on the wings. Yeah, so I started buying bottles off Amazon, decided to create the sauce and sell it during COVID.
Okay.
And it was flying off the shelves.
Wow.
Yeah, after COVID, I continued to keep selling it. I ended up getting a booth in the local market here, the farmer's market downtown. And the CEO of a major grocery store, he got a hold of it down there. And he said he wanted it in the stores, and it took off from there. Now I'm in about 500 grocery stores.
If you had to tell anyone or talk to the youngsters out here today who may be doing some of the things that you used to do, what would you tell them in terms of not doing it or how to not go the same route?
It's short-lived. And like I said, in street terminology, the game isn't what it used to be at all. They're giving out more time. The system is not on our side. The deck is stacked against us from the beginning. And whatever you're doing is not going to last. There's no retirement plan in criminal activity. There's absolutely no retirement plan in that. So eventually you have to have something else to back it up. And it's better to get started with that something else now than later.
Let's talk a little bit more about your transitional housing and what's going on with that.
I have 3 transitional houses now for men and women reintegrating back into society from prison. I have 2 in Illinois.
And they're called?
Pure Living Transitional Houses. I have 2 in Illinois in the East St. Louis surrounding area of Cahokia, and I have 1 in St. Louis County. The 2 in Illinois, I can house 8 people per house. Yeah.
Okay.
And I offer programming for them, cognitive behavior programs, substance abuse programs that I do myself because I'm a certified alcohol and drug counselor, domestic violence courses for different programs in the houses to kind of help them get out there and see what they need so they can successfully get back out there and live on their own. And then I have a new one in St. Louis. That one's 30 beds, 15 men, 15 women. That's my first co-ed house that I also just opened. So we're trying to get that one filled up now through the Missouri Department of Corrections.
And you're using the word pure as your branding because you have Pure Living, you have Pure Heat, which is that's the brand for the sauces and everything.
Correct.
And I understand you have something else. Chips.
Yeah, I have my potato chips.
Okay.
Yeah, I have Pure Heat, the garlic heat potato chips, which is a spinoff of my best-selling sauce, the garlic heat flavor. And I have a Pure Heat all-purpose seasoning as well, which is a spinoff of the garlic heat as well.
And you're an author.
I'm an author.
Okay.
I have my first published book that's on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. It's called Cell Block the CEO, The Rise of a Fallen King.
My goodness, can you give us some snippets or something? I know we want to buy the book.
Yeah.
Yes,
It gives my story from the cradle up until now. You know, how I started, how I got into the lifestyle, and how I've overcome the lifestyle. And I call it turning pain into purpose because that's what I did. So it teaches, your reader, hey, I've been here. This is where you can go. Family members, they can read the book as well and say, hey, have a family member that's experiencing this. That's how I may be able to help them. It's possible.
And again, and you did briefly mention where people can get it, but say it again,
Barnes & Noble or Amazon. Yeah, you can get it on Amazon as well.
Okay, and it's called again? Your book?
Cell Block the CEO, The Rise of a Fallen King.
Okay.
Written by Reggie D. Smith.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good, very good. So I wish I could bring James back on here so we could have a group shot together. But is there anything else that we haven't touched on regarding some of the products that you might have? You didn't give your contact information.
My contact information, purelivingrecovery.org. That's for my transitional housing and my rehabilitation center. And reggieandrebaspeaks.org for my books and my motivational speaking, because I do speak within the schools as well. I go out to the schools, inner city communities, wherever I'm called. I speak for the feds now.
Oh, okay.
Same people that arrested me, they're calling me to speak for them now.
Okay.
So I speak to the new class orientation that returning home from prison. I just spoke actually with the anger management class at CASTL. So to the young adults there, anybody that's needing help, I tell them my story and where I've been and show them that it's possible.
Wow, we thank God for you. We thank God for your story. A lot of times we go through things and don't understand. On the other side of that, you may end up helping somebody with some of the things that you have gone
You
through.
never know where God's going to take you, because
That's right.
I never imagined. I never imagined.
Well, if you get the opportunity, will you come back to Smiles Television?
I definitely will.
Got him on camera. He said he'll be back, right? So thank you again. And one more
you for
time,
having me.
give that phone number to contact you.
314-701-0405. My website is purelivingrecovery.org. Motivational speaking, and for my books, reggieandrebaspeaks.org.
Okay, very good. Thank you again, Reggie.
Thank you.
God bless you and God keep you. And I want to thank you for tuning in to Smiles Television Talk Show. We've been able to take you from trauma at home, unresolved childhood trauma, to trauma in the schools and being homelessness, going into the prison systems and coming out. And we want to thank you for joining us on Smiles Television Talk Show. Don't forget, only what you do for Christ will last, and Jesus is the Lord. The Lord be magnified.
The Smiles Television Talk Show wants to showcase your business, organization, church, and activities. If you have an interest in being a guest on Smiles Television Talk Show, or if you have any show ideas, contact Stephanie Anthony Miles at smilestv777@gmail.com. You may also call 618-741-3770. Tell your friends to subscribe to the Smiles YouTube channel. Let Smiles TV increase your reach. Remember, you look better with smiles. IDEX Media does a lot. From IDEX Photography to IDEX Films. We help create forever memories and forever impressions. Imagination, image a world. IDEX Media.
Awesome sauce. Yeah, baby.